whatever form that they may wish to. So we cannot budget with the intention to punish certain sections of our population just because they may be associating with people that for the moment we may not desire ourselves to associate with. So the budget is our budget, and the constraints may be the reasons why certain budgets have been reduced must be the exigencies of the time. But I do not believe it's because of associating with one person or the other one that may not look desirable to some quarters. So that is the way it is. The Honorable Mwakuona, the member for Undanye.
Thank you. Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for giving me this chance to first and foremost support the adoption of the report by the Budget and Appropriations Committee on the revenue and expenditure estimates for the financial year 2021-2022. Honorable Speaker, this morning I'm a proud member of the Budget and Appropriations Committee, having, and of course I must congratulate our chair, Honorable Kanini Kega, and all the members for their sacrifice and commitments towards making sure that this report comes to the House in time. Honorable Speaker, I want to speak about 2 or 3 things. One, Honorable Speaker, this year's budget is coming at a time where we are faced by a myriad of challenges. One, of course, being COVID. But having COVID with us, yes, this is unforeseen. But, Honorable Speaker, the issue of pending bills has been spoken in this House for quite a while now. I remember some 2 years ago, our President, His Excellency Uhuru Kenyatta, gave in a directive that all pending bills needed to be paid as a first charge by all ministries. Honorable Speaker, these item pending bills continue to pile, and it appears that National Treasury has not found a way of either forcing or implementing the presidential directive, making sure that pending bills have been paid. Let me pick Department of Ministry of Infrastructure and Roads, Honorable Speaker. We were told by the submissions by the committee chair that we have in excess of 90 billion in pending bills only for roads infrastructure, Honorable Speaker. These pending bills have negated the ability of the ministry to award new contracts that are extremely essential for the growth and development of this country, Honorable Speaker. You realize that we have roads that have been advertised and projects under the Ministry of Infrastructure that needs to be awarded to contractors. But because of the item pending bills, the ministry is taking its time. And they have indicated that they would want to reduce the 90-plus pending bills to some considerable levels before they award new projects, Honorable Speaker. But this brings into perspective, and it makes us, some of us, analyze these pending bills, Mr. Honorable Speaker. You realize that there are areas in this country that are not beneficiaries of the so-called pending bills, meaning that the 90 or so projects, 90 or so billion shillings that have gone into implementing some projects are found in specific areas or specific regions of this country. I'll tell you, Mr. Speaker, we have a region called Taita Taveta County, that the 90 plus billion shillings under pending bills, no single coin is for a project that is done in Taita Taveta County. And we have other counties that also have been marginalized in the same area. And therefore, when we hear that we cannot start new projects just because we have pending bills, this means we are continuing to disadvantage and disenfranchise some communities that have not been benefiting in the projects. And now that we have a road that has been advertised just waiting to be awarded, like I'll give an example. I have a road in my constituency that was is been advertised, the contractor has been identified, but cannot be awarded because we are waiting for pending bills to be cleared, the Honorable Speaker. The road from Musau, Mbale, Veruga, Bura Road, that is about 2.8 billion project. that the delay in awarding is because of pending bills. And we are saying, we'd rather increase these pending bills. Let us also be part of, the Kenyans who are benefiting, for projects. And let's continue adding these pending bills if we're going to balance and have equity in projects as a country. Honorable Speaker, I'm happy with my committee that has indicated that by 1st October, the National Treasury should come up with a long-term bond so that they can settle out these pending bills. We are saying that this bond should be respected, so that by that time, National Treasury should float in a bond that will pay off all pending bills, so that then we can, as a country, we can start afresh. However, we know we have the issue of debt ceiling, Mr. Speaker. They are saying we cannot do pending a new bond for infrastructure, because this will require us opening up on the ceiling of 9 trillion shillings ceiling for our national debt. Honorable Speaker, if opening the ceiling will make us get our road awarded quickly, if opening the ceiling will make Kenyans who are being affected by human-wildlife conflict be paid, if opening the ceiling will make the 70 old and above get into the safety net, if the opening of the ceiling will make projects that like Mzima 2 be awarded and done, then we are ready and willing to open this ceiling. Because we cannot live in a country where some areas cannot be developed every time because of reasons of pending bills or national debt ceiling. This, as a country, must have a conversation, and going forward, National Treasury must audit all the projects that are done in this country so that we realize what we call equity in project distribution, Mr. Speaker. Finally, Mr. Speaker, I'm excited about a policy that has been mentioned by the Chair of Education on recruitment of teachers. This year's budget, Honorable Speaker, we have set aside money to hire teachers. When, as budget, we realize it is important. We would rather reduce some money from the infrastructure that is managed by PS Education, and have this money go into hiring of teachers. We'll have twin objectives that will be realized. Number one, we'll have most of our teachers get employed, and two, we'll have additional income when it comes to payee, Honorable Speaker, and therefore achieve our targets on income targets. Honorable Speaker, some areas in this country, according to the policy that they are championing, they are saying 70% of recruitment of teachers must be local. So if you're talking about a county, then 70% of the teachers must come from the local county, and therefore then 30% from diaspora or outside the county. Because we have areas, Honorable Speaker, that teachers keep complaining that every time recruitment is done, depending on who is the director and who is in charge of that education, in that county, you realize 70% comes from outside, then 30% comes from local. I can give you an example, Mr. Speaker. We have areas that all primary head teachers, all deputies, 90% are not from the local community. And therefore it raises a lot of issues by teachers that come to us as their representatives, asking us, when are our children going to get employed, and yet they have qualifications, Honorable Speaker. Some very exciting news in this budget, this coming budget, Honorable Speaker. I want to thank the Committee of Education. What they did, they're able to look to bring to us a proposal to pay out or to buy land that is owned by Taita Taveta Teachers SACCO, that was bought in Kisauni, where my colleague Honorable Ali Bobo comes from. So they have said we approved as Budget Committee 250 million. So that we can settle the people in Kisauni, and at the same time pay the teachers, Taita Taveta Teachers SACCO, their money, because they bought land long time ago, and most of the teachers now are dead. Like we lost the chair of Taita Taveta SACCO early this year. And these are people who have been pushing for their money because their land was settled by squatters, and today it is historic that in this budget we have put in 250 million that will go to settle squatters in Kisauni, in Junda Ward. At the same time, my teachers from my county get their share so that they can benefit from their savings, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I finish by saying we would support every idea that brings in more money to the state funded universities. We have universities in this country that have not found enough resources to complete the projects that have been begun. And therefore, Mr. Speaker, I want to allow my committee that in their wisdom, we're able to raise around 50 million shillings to support Taita Taveta University to finish their project, the mining lab project that requires another about 80 million to be complete. But at least for this time to start with, we have 50 million that will go to the university to make sure that that lab will start being utilized. I thank you, Honorable Speaker.
The Honorable